What's up everyone, it's Tony here and welcome back to Yacht Addiction. The beautiful yacht in front of us is an X99 Fast. Now don't worry, this yacht certainly lives up to that name. It's extremely fast for a yacht of its size. This yacht is presented by Extra Yachts, and that's a brand owned by Palumbo Yachts, so thank you to both of them for granting me access on board for the tour. We're currently at the Cannes Yachting Festival, and this yacht has such a unique and interesting layout. I've never been on a yacht like this that's laid out in this way before, so you're gonna have to let me know what you think of it as we go throughout the tour. It sleeps 8 guests in 4 different cabins, and it also has space for up to 4 crew. Overall, the length is 99 feet, or about 30.2 meters. It has a 24-foot beam, or 7.3 meters, and it has a draft of 4 feet and 3 inches, or about 1.3 meters. Let's go ahead and get started with this X99 Fast Super Yacht Tour. So the first thing I wanted to point out, as you can see, you have your swim platform, and then they have the transformer installed. So as you can see, this can raise up to get onto the dock, or this can be lowered into the water acting as a swim platform. So I love when yachts have a transformer like this. It makes things very easy, very flexible. So let's step around here and we'll make our way on board via this transformer. And this, when it's folded in, will sit flush on the swim platform. You can see the top row of teak there, that will fold up. This sits right in place, you're good to go. You also have the shower built in on the swim platform. And then right off the back of the yacht, you'll see down here, we have a couple steps down. You'll see you have a really large sunbed area right off the back of this yacht. So when you're out on the water and you're laying out, you get a tremendous view. Obviously right now we're at the show, so you have the ISA yachts and the Extra Yachts. Both of those are brands of Palumbo Yachts. So you have their setup right behind us here. But you can see the large row of sun pads. And even further forward, you have another beautiful outdoor seating area. We have the U-shaped loungers wrapped around these 2 small tables and a large row of bench seating. So obviously, even though it only sleeps up to 8 guests, if you wanted more on board, you could definitely have a ton of people lying out, enjoying a day out on the water. I think this boat is going to be tremendously popular once they start cranking them out in the United States market. Obviously, this would work well all over the world, but you know what I mean. And then another fantastic feature out here, you have fold-out terraces on either side. So you can see here, this is what it looks like when it's up, but you can see the teak lined there. And on the other side, we have it folded down so you can see what that looks like. So you could throw some chairs out here, a lounger, whatever you want, but it just gives you some extra deck space. Let's step out over the side here. Now, this is where some of the really neat, unique design elements start coming into play. Honestly, for a 100-foot yacht, this is already a really unique area. Normally you don't see a yacht laid out like this, but to even continue that trend, we have side gates. That's pretty standard, of course. But out here, take a look. You have this alfresco dining area. So you have this beautiful table. In the storage area right here, there is also a TV that can pop out. And then beyond just this area, you obviously can just see a sneak preview. You actually have the galley located aft in this area. And look at this, you have this huge powered window. So this can slide down. You can really connect these 2 spaces. Or if you wanted to set up like a mini buffet area, you could. You have a lot of different options here. But this area is also pretty well protected by the winds because you do have these large glass panes on either side. So at least in the dining area specifically, you shouldn't be too bothered, even though you do have a very open air feeling. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Then if we look up, you have the beautiful woodwork in the ceiling. You have speakers littered all over the place. So obviously you could throw a very awesome party out here. And before we head inside, let's give you one last look at this aft area. So now we're gonna head inside. You have this really wide glass door here. And obviously we already saw the preview of it, so let's head inside the galley. You can see your sink. You have your Miele induction cooktop right here. You have your large wine fridge, and then you have refrigeration and freezer storage in here. And I do like how they finished the walls to match perfectly. You also have your Miele appliances over here and some additional prep space as well. So So here's what this view looks like when you're looking out from the galley. So very cool, radically different than what you'd normally see. So far, I'm really liking this one. You have the lovely accent lights underneath every step, as well as the detailing on the walls here. I've noticed, especially on a lot of these Italian yachts, I don't know if I mentioned that before, Palumbo yachts, they are an Italian brand, but a lot of these interior designers are going with the vertical lines in the woodwork. I've toured a couple newer Italian yachts at this show, and I'm noticing that's a pretty consistent theme. I've probably mentioned it in other videos, but I'm a big fan of that look, so works perfectly for me. But you'll see, as we step in here, this is the main salon, and it's all the way forward on this yacht on the main deck. So you have a huge couch that wraps around. It's very deep as well. I love the two-tiered table. And of course, you can customize the artwork and decor however you please. And then you do have a large TV built into the wall here. And currently they're covered by shades, but you do have pretty good sized windows as well. This one is about half of the wall, and then this one you can see how it angles down for an even larger window. So you'll also notice a mini bar area here. You have some very stylish leather wrapped chairs. Then of course, if we step around, you'll see this is the mini bar area. Fridge and ice maker, of course. On some of these new yachts, they don't always open everything up, but in this case, it just made sense. You also have on both sides, side access doors to the side decks, because right in front of the main salon, you have the bridge. So you can see you have the 3 Veruno multifunction displays and all the other controls for the yacht. You also have the 2 captain's chairs here. And before we head outside up to the foredeck, let's actually take a quick look at the crew area. As mentioned, you only have space for 4 crew. This is a pretty easy yacht to operate. So if we head down here, obviously right now it's fully crewed and it's, being somewhat used for storage at the show. You can see they have a really large TV, the little crew mess area here, and then you can see, looks like the shower right here. And I believe the head will go through into this cabin. So this acts kind of as a day head for the crew, and this that crew cabin's ensuite. Guys, because we're at the show, actually both of these doors are locked. Totally understandable. That's pretty normal at a show like this, especially if the crew is currently away from the boat. You'll see there's additional storage in here as well as the washer and dryer. Then through this door, we actually have, looks like another little cabin in here. I'm not sure if that's considered the captain's cabin. Excuse me. So down this staircase, which we skipped earlier, here we're going to have all the guest cabins as well as the owner suite. As mentioned, you can sleep up to 8. And I'm not going to tease you. Let's head back to the midship and check out the owner suite. You have a beautiful bright space in here, even with the shades down. You have a large desk over here, and you can kind of make out the window behind the shade there. Of course, the TV up on the wall. And then once again, I'll point out those little vertical accent pieces in the wood. You have to let me know what your thoughts are on the interior design so far. But you'll see a really large ensuite. You have the double vanity. And then on one side, separate room for the toilet and bidet. And then on the other side, of course, you have your stand-up shower. Walk-in shower, you know what I mean. Obviously, you're going to have a stand-up shower. Here you'll find another cabin with the 2 twin beds as well as the Pullman berth. And some lovely stone on the vanity. And the rainfall shower, of course, with the bench in the shower. So even though this is the 3rd or 4th cabin, still a really good size and finished obviously to a really high degree. Across the way, one more cabin mirrored to the last, and this one also has the Pullman. So with the Pullmans, you technically can actually sleep up to 10. Those I'm sure are an option, so if you didn't want them, you could forego them, but I think it makes sense. It really doesn't take up that much space to have the Pullman installed, and it just increases the space on board for guests. So obviously I think for me that makes sense. Add the Pullmans if you have the space. Excuse me. And then all the way forward, you'll find the VIP. You have a settee on this side. It's pretty good size by the window. Your closets are built in right into the design elements. We actually picked the worst side to open, but that's okay. This lights up automatically. TV up on the wall, little dressing table or desk right here. Then off to the side, your ensuite. Same style of stone on the vanity I'm noticing as the other cabins. Rainfall shower, beautiful accent lights in the ceiling. Everything you could expect and want in an ensuite. So, those are all 4 cabins covered. Obviously, with the really unique design, they're not able to fit the owner suite on the main deck, but I think because it is a radically different design, it works really well to have the full beam owner suite back in the midship. Let's give you one last look at the main salon. So we're about to head upstairs. So, back out this wide door. And we'll head over in this direction. And they actually kind of they tucked the stairs away right over here, so it's kind of a hidden staircase up to this fly bridge. So the first thing you'll see, you have more of those speakers built in. You have the table right here wrapped around your U-shaped seating. You do have sunshades overhead, so of course this can be completely opened up, or you can take these down. Good amount of flexibility here. Because this yacht has a very streamlined look, they did forego the hardtop overhead. You have your chairs over here, little pocket of sun pads, and of course, another bar area. And then looking forward, you have another large sun pad. And then last but not least, a second helm station with a redundant set of controls up here. So this yacht definitely has a very streamlined look. I actually like the idea of foregoing the hardtop, particularly for this one. Let me throw a picture of the profile on the screen. As you'll see, it has very interesting lines. I personally think it looks good, but you have to let me know what you think down below in the comments. A couple more areas to check out. We're still going to head up to the foredeck, and we're also going to head down into the engine rooms to show off what gives you such great performance. If you're going to name your yacht the X99 Fast, you definitely have to back it up with something in the engine room. So we'll get to there shortly. You do have the wing stations. These are on each side, of course. Then up here, just have a couple of jet skis stored up here. And then a little sun pad right in between. In case, you want it somewhere a little more private and secluded, you could just tuck yourself up here. And then, of course, you have the crane to let these jet skis into the water. And we'll just wrap around, I think. Side access door, as we saw before. I like how they have the X logo for Extra Yachts right in the teak. So you'll see that this leads us back to where we started. And now down here, this is where you actually access the engine room. So we got this hatch lifted up right here. Now, bear with me for a moment. You do have to climb down the ladder to get down to the engine room. So just sit tight. All right, that wasn't too difficult. We made it down. So through this door, we actually have the tender garage. So on the far side of the room, you can open up a hatch, and with the winch system, you will winch this out right into the water. And you can use this area for toy storage for anything else you need to store in here. But it's nice that even though on a very streamlined, obviously you saw the profile picture, so it's very streamlined, but you still managed to fit the tender garage. Pretty impressive. You can see you have a monitoring system for the yacht right here. Let's show you the engines. If you take a step down, you do have full standing headroom in here. You can see your two generators on the far sides of the room. Actually here, we can walk in between. Now you have a better shot of the two generators. And look how big these engines are. Hopefully that's showing well relative to the room. So this yacht comes with a pair of MTU 16V 2000 M96L engines. These are 2,600 horsepower each. Your top speed is 37 knots. So I definitely think it deserves to put the name Fast in its name. Your cruising speed is a little lower at 28 knots, but even then you're still looking at 500 nautical miles of range. So that's also pretty impressive for that cruising speed. Of course, if you drop this yacht down further into the displacement speeds, you'll go much further than the 500 nautical miles. But of course, I think if you're getting this boat, you want to party, you want to entertain, and you want to go fast. Of course, you can see the water maker over here. And one thing I forgot to mention, these engines are paired with water jets. So that's part of what gives you such great performance, that tremendous top speed. And with those jet drives, that's what enables you to have such a shallow draft on a yacht of this size. So if you're trying to cruise in the Bahamas or somewhere else in the world where things aren't very deep, you have that capability with the shallow draft, with the water jets. It's a fantastic feature. Also, another fun thing to mention, there actually is an option. I don't think they've done it yet, but they said they can. You can option out three MAN V12 engines at 2,000 horsepower each. So you have the additional horsepower, and if you get the option for the 3 MAN engines, you're actually looking at a new top speed of around 44 knots and a cruising speed of 32 knots. So you can go even faster. So once again, I already think 37 knots is pretty impressive. Definitely lives up to the name of the yacht based on the size of the yacht, but 44 knots with that upgraded engine package, and that's just a tremendous top speed for a yacht of this size. All right, let's climb out of here. And this yacht is just getting pretty busy, so we're wrapping up at the perfect time. I really like this heavy-duty handle for the hatch. And this is on a gas strut, so you have to stand on it. I'll give you one last shot of the galley. Thank you to Extra Yachts as well as Palumbo Yachts for granting me access on board for the tour. This was the Extra Yachts X99 Fast. Very unique yacht, very cool. I think it's going to do really well. Let me know, of course, what you thought of this design in the comment sections down below. and we will catch you next time.